Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. A recent audit report found there are close to 700 cases of underutilized childcare spaces in Saskatchewan. Although the province has increased its number of childcare spaces to over 41,000, the report found there are 694 instances of approved spots that are in locations that do not need them. The findings come from the provincial auditor of Saskatchewan. The report also found there's a lack in tracking the number of early childhood educators across Saskatchewan by the government, which could increase the risk of approving spaces that cannot be staffed.
The provincial government has also failed in its workforce planning, and we've been raising these issues as Saskatchewan's Child Care Union for a long time now. You know, ensuring that there's adequate recruitment for these positions, ensuring that there's access to training, ensuring that people are actually getting paid enough.
The purpose of the report is to make sure childcare is accessible across Saskatchewan and to see if the ministry is meeting its intent of the Canada-Saskatchewan Early Learning and Childcare Agreement. A well-known American commentator has stepped in to help a Saskatchewan woman in desperate need of medical care. Jolene Van Alsten is at the Regina General Hospital suffering from complications related to a rare form of parathyroid disease. She's been in pain for years now and was recently approved for medical assistance in dying. American media personality Glenn Beck has expressed outrage about her plight and is attempting to arrange for surgery at a U.S. hospital. Alsten's family is hopeful.
And now, hopefully this has given her a little bit of hope, and I think it has. So I think her spirits are a little better than what they were, but it's been a long haul.
Van Alsten's family recently met with Saskatchewan's health minister, who said they were offering an out-of-province referral. Many music students begin learning thanks to elementary band programs across the province, but teachers are expressing concern about the program shrinking. Due to funding cuts, the Regina Public School Board has been forced to reduce the frequency of elementary band rehearsals. One teacher in Saskatoon says there have been decreases to programming across the province. This creates a gap for the students who continue with band at the high school level.
Students are not necessarily getting the refinement that they could, and then they arrive in high school, and oftentimes from many different elementary schools, and some of the holes in their learning is a little more exposed and can be frustrating to work out.
CTV has reached out to the Saskatoon and Regina Public School Boards along with the Ministry of Education for comment. Nearly 500,000 people crossed Canadian borders in Saskatchewan this year, and officers made hundreds of seizures. The Canada Border Services Agency has released its 2025 year in review, detailing activity at its 14 sites across the province. From January 1st to October 31st, officers made nearly 200 narcotic seizures, including about 30 grams of opioids, 1 gram of cocaine, and 2.5 kilograms of illegal cannabis. The CBSA also seized 25 firearms and along with more than 1,000 gun or magazine parts. Detector dog teams were deployed more than 300 times to search for illegal guns and drugs, and about $72,000 in suspected proceeds of crime was also seized.
Proud of our border service officers here. They conduct a lot of hard work screening travelers and goods coming into the country. And I think this shows a good record of the good job that we're doing.
Kinlan says CBSA plays a critical role in supporting the economy and security of Canada. The city of Saskatoon has activated its cold weather strategy for the first time, while community groups brace for impact. Bridge City Warmth, a group that started last winter, is seeing at least 100 more people using the services they provide. The weekend cold snap approaching with temperatures expected to dip into the -30s. The city of Saskatoon has enacted the cold weather strategy level 2 in anticipation of what's in store. With the temporary shelters up and running, the city is feeling confident those who are unhoused will have a place to go to get out of the cold, but are preparing for larger numbers compared to other years as the need increases.
Having some conversations with some of the staffs there, they're seeing the numbers increase from last year. Gord Taylor at St. Mary's has shared that they've seen numbers that were occurring now that were at their highest points last year.
The city has the same warming locations as last year, one at EGADS, one at Station 20 West, the Friendship Inn, and the Bridge. The old STC bus depot is now housing a daytime shelter for men and women, and at nighttime for women only. Something tells me, Jeff, anytime I was going north-south down a block, I felt the wind, and then going east-west a lot less so. So is that where the wind's coming from?
Well, it's a bit of nasty wind, yeah, northerly wind, there's no question about it. And we can tell you that it's going to continue to be windy for a little while longer. Winds are going to back off in the overnight, but return to moderate values as we make our way into tomorrow afternoon. Maybe wind gusts up around 40 clicks tomorrow afternoon. We do get a bit of a break overnight into the morning hours tomorrow. We're keeping our eye, obviously, on this system. We talked about the double-barreled lows that are sliding across those clipper systems that's impacting a large portion of the province, dealing with snow as we make our way into the next 12 hours or so. That snow is going to get out of the way, but we're still going to be kind of cold. Details later on.
Two fired Saskatoon police officers are asking a judge to let them appeal their terminations after their lawyer sent the paperwork to the wrong place. Dylan Kemp and Jason Garland were fired in September following an off-duty party. 8 days later, they filed appeals, but their lawyer sent them to the wrong place instead of the Saskatchewan Police Commission, the body that hears these appeals. He sent them to the Police Service and the Police Association, the employer and the union. As a result, Kemp and Garland missed the 30-day deadline to challenge their firings. Now the two former officers are asking a judge to let the appeals move forward. The matter is set for court on January 23rd. A teen girl accused of lighting a fellow high school student on fire last year appeared by video in Saskatoon Provincial Court today. The girl is charged with attempted murder, arson, and aggravated assault after a 15-year-old girl was doused in a flammable liquid and set on fire at Evan Hardy Collegiate last September. The accused was 14 at the time. She cannot be named because of the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Her lawyer requested an adjournment until after Crown and Defense counsels have resolution discussions on Monday. She's now scheduled to be back in provincial court on January 29th for a plea. A Melfort tradition, the annual Christmas Castle is back up at the historical post office. This year, donations will go to the North Central Healthcare Foundation, restoration of the historic post office, and Believe in Gold Childhood Cancer Foundation. Organizers say more than 100 trees were set up inside the post office to build the castle, and volunteers keep it running. Local musicians are performing every evening until the castle's last day on December 21st.
December of 2017, and we were just driving through downtown Melfort early evening and just saw that the whole place was quiet. And it was then that the thought came to us that what could we do to draw traffic to?
The castle first opened its doors in 2018. When we come back, a special visit from Santa in northern Manitoba. Trading a sleigh for a plane, he brings holiday cheer to several First Nation communities.
Greetings, everyone. The Canadian Western Agribition has always been a place to celebrate the roots and future of agriculture in Canada, including the country's First Peoples. At this year's event, 2 days were focused on Indigenous agriculture. Success stories were shared from across the country, illustrating where the sector is heading.
Indigenous producers, entrepreneurs, industry pros, and academic members gathered at the Canadian Western Agribition to discuss Indigenous agriculture opportunities happening across the country. Some of the major ideas behind these initiatives: building food security and food sovereignty during a significant time in Canadian agriculture.
We have the best innovations and the smartest minds right here at home. So there's a lot of talk of agriculture abroad and agriculture around the world, but at the end of the day, we're in the mecca of agriculture in the world right here.
This is the 12th edition of the Indigenous Agriculture Summit at Agribition, held as a two-day event for the second year in a row. The expanded time frame, leaving room for agenda topics like land and business management, grazing and buffalo repopulation, and more.
For the Canadian Western Agribition, this is a really important, I find this year they've really tried to accelerate what this looks like. And, you know, this year we've implemented as part of the Indigenous Ag Summit to have tours to go down through the show, to go down through the barns, to really start having those conversations on what can it look like on our land.
There are a number of Indigenous ag operations happening across the country, all ranging in size. A significant piece of information being shared is the economic growth opportunities these operations can achieve.
Right now, you know, we're probably sitting at about a 1.5 billion GDP miss by not harnessing Indigenous agriculture as well as it could be across the country. And this 2 days gives us an opportunity to get that platform of industry, academia, to really come together to accelerate and build the ag industry as a whole.
The Indigenous Ag Summit was presented by FCC alongside NCIAF, all with the intention of helping Indigenous communities get into agriculture.
We want to see more, you know, opportunity, more education, more programming, more access to capital for that economic empowerment, and you know, getting our next 7 generations educated to really leave this land as better than how we found it.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Santa traded in his sleigh and reindeer for a plane as he traveled to remote First Nations communities in northern Manitoba earlier this week. Alex Karpa has more on the special visit from jolly old St. Nick.
Santa didn't need his sleigh to spread holiday cheer. Instead, he used a plane to travel to several Manitoba First Nations communities. I was able to hitch a ride on the Manitoba Kiwetinowi Okamakinak Santa Express, making stops in 4 remote and northern communities, which saw kids of all ages excited to see Santa in the flesh.
It's something different. It brings joy and brings laughter. It brings togetherness.
Merry Christmas!
The Santa Express is visiting 25 communities in 5 days, delivering 12,000 treat bags filled with candy and toys.
Having Santa to just come into the community for kids to see Santa, where in the south you can just see him every day, but over here just once in a while. So this is just extra special.
It's not just kids Santa went to see, but as well seniors at this care home in Bunnabonaby Cree Nation.
Merry Christmas!
This initiative started back in 2009 and is a partnership with Manitoba-based Perimeter Aviation. But this year's excursion is a little different than others. Santa's visits to communities here in northern Manitoba were especially meaningful this year as thousands were forced out of their homes due to raging wildfires. Hundreds of fires this past summer in northern Manitoba forced over 30,000 people to evacuate, leaving many out of their homes for months on end.
Children are away from home, being absent from school, and I think this will do them good.
Seti says there's a ton of planning that goes into this yearly mission, but says it's all worth it, making sure every child can experience the Christmas magic no matter where they live. Alex Karpa, CTV News in northern Manitoba.
When we come back, Jeff looks at the weather forecast, plus reaction to the province's push for involuntary addictions treatment. So, Jeff, you said it definitely easy to shovel, but there is a lot out there. Probably.
Yeah, there certainly is. It's not as though it makes it less of a task, I suppose, because you do have to get out there and have some sweat equity going. It depends on what kind of machinery you've got, I suppose. But ultimately, yes, snow that needed to be moved, but when it's light and fluffy like this snow has been, it's a little easier on the back, or at least on your muscles when all is said and done. We've still got this second system. We talked about this yesterday. We had a couple couple of clipper systems, one up north, one down south, but as they both sort of worked in tandem, there's this north-south line angling through the province, and that is bringing snow to many areas. And so we're going to find out what the totals are probably tomorrow when the official numbers come in. But I know that some places are dealing with upwards of 10 centimeters, but we are dealing with, 5 to 10 in many locations. So moving on from that particular shot to our futurecast. So there's that double-barreled system. Get out of here. And then another clipper system comes in behind it, but it's not as significant. This system will, all of this will wind down as we make our way into tomorrow afternoon. And then temperatures are still going to be on the cold side, I'm afraid to say. So overnight, yes, we are dealing with widespread snow and cold temperatures. Minus 22 in Spiritwood overnight, minus 20 in the Battlefords and Birch Hills and Rostern, minus 21 with snow in the Candle Lake area, minus 19 in Nipawin. Nipawin just expecting cloudy skies in the overnight period. And Melfort, snow and minus 19 degrees. Now keep in mind that you saw on the Futurecast how that system moves through, so this won't be an all-night event, or at least it shouldn't be an all-night event. Now, making our way into tomorrow, still some lingering effects of that snow. We also saw that secondary system slipping in. So we've got ourselves some snowy conditions for Spiritwood and the Battlefords, minus 21 for a daytime high. These are daytime highs, folks, in Spiritwood, minus 19 in the Battlefords. The same for Candle Lake, maybe not quite as intense when it comes to the snowfall. Birch Hills, minus 18 for a high, minus 19 in Rostern, minus 17 in Nipawin, ditto for Melfort. And these temperatures basically about, about 8 or 9 degrees below seasonal. Now, here we go with our situation for Prince Albert and area. So the Gateway City expecting to drop down to minus 20 tonight. About 5 centimeters of snow in terms of accumulation overnight. Winds out of the northeast at 10, so not a particularly strong wind, but still the potential for frostbite is certainly there. These flurries start to taper off tomorrow afternoon, minus 18. So the temperatures don't really warm up all that much on Thursday. And the winds are relatively light until about 3 in the afternoon. Then they start to shift around and pick up in speed. So starting at around 3 tomorrow afternoon, wind gusts up around 40 kilometers an hour. And that, of course, will make the daytime temperature, or whatever the temperature is, feel a lot colder. So here we go with our 7-day forecast. So the snow tapering off on Thursday, as I mentioned, then a cold Friday and Saturday in store. Temperatures basically around minus 24, minus 25. And look at that overnight from Friday into Saturday. We've got ourselves minus 33 degrees. And then the good news is things really warm up on Tuesday. Look at that, minus 7 degrees. Not bad.
I can't take my eyes off that minus 33, Jeff. That's something to behold for sure. Well, speaking of things to behold, not many people get a look at an NHL expansion package, and that's what we've got for this week's Classic Sports Moments.
This is something the public rarely gets to see. Footage of an actual NHL expansion package for prospective bidders, including a letter from the NHL president. You're looking at rare video from 1990. That year, after failing to bring the St. Louis Blues to Saskatoon through relocation, Bill Hunter tried again to lure an expansion team to Saskatoon 7 years later. This time, an arena, today known as SaskTel Centre, was already built, with additional seats being added at the time. An NHL bid would require more amenities, like skyboxes. Reports at the time said Hunter and his group had raised $50 million towards the NHL expansion fee, but needed another $20 million and turned to the provincial government. But Hunter says the provincial government turned down his request, and the NHL expansion bid crumbled, with no formal application being made. The National Hockey League would later award expansion teams to 2 cities, Ottawa and Tampa Bay. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Concerns are being expressed about Saskatchewan's plan for involuntary addictions treatment. Organizations that currently help people combat addictions question whether forced treatment will work. Wayne Mantika reports.
Service providers on the front line of the addictions problem have been left with questions about the government's plan for involuntary treatment.
There has not been a lot of clarity around what this actually looks like and what the impact will be. We don't have the resources in place for people that want to go to treatment. We don't have the resources in place for what happens when they get out of treatment.
Last week, the province introduced legislation that would force addicts into secure treatment centers.
To support people with severe addictions who no longer are capable of seeking help on their own despite serious health and safety risks.
The NDP say it doesn't help those voluntarily seeking treatment.
This is a bit of a distraction from a government who knows full well that they have month-long wait lists, that they cannot honor people who are seeking detox today.
If passed, the plan would allow family members, police officers, and healthcare workers to identify those who they believe would benefit from involuntary addictions treatment.
It's been critiqued many times by many medical associations as not being effective, as not being ethical.
There are also legal questions.
If this really does genuinely look like treatment with the release plan and a way, the intent is to get people back to their regular lives, that this very well might be legal. If this ends up looking like putting people in prison without a charge, my suspicion is that this is another court case that the government of Saskatchewan will lose.
The provincial government will consider community feedback as it prepares to pass the legislation in the spring. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
All right, Jeff, I don't know if there was a big UFC happening this weekend, but a Calgary family definitely had ringside seats for the big fight on Saturday. The Castellino family were on their driveway around lunchtime when these two bucks locked antlers and started duking it out. We'll have to double check here. I was looking, despite the white butts, I think they're actually mule deer. We'll have to see, and somebody might send an email and let us know. But eventually they both took off. Nobody was hurt. I was looking for the referee. I don't think there was one. But I think there was a doe in the background there, and maybe that's why the two were duking it out, trying to get some attention.
Yes. Our director has informed us these are indeed mule deer.
There you go. It's kind of like at the school dance when you're fighting for that girl that you want to dance with.
Is that how it works?
Looked exactly like that.
No wonder I was so lonely.